Hi guys, welcome back to Planet Mithril and my Buffed or Nerfed series of videos where I compare profiles from the old edition and the new edition of our beloved Middle-earth strategy battle game and let you know their changes and if they have in fact been buffed or nerfed. So I've done the 4 Hobbits from the Fellowship, and today now I'm focusing on the lost future King of Gondor, protector of Hobbits and all-round amazing character in the films and the books, Aragorn Strider. So to start off with, Aragorn comes in the old edition at a princely, or you might say kingly, base cost of 160 points and was considered a hero of valor across most of the army lists. His stat line is as such: he is movement 6 with a fight value of 6 and a 3+ shoot value, strength of 4, base value defense of 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 6 courage, 3 might with his mighty hero special rule, 3 will and 3 fate. His standard war gear was just his ranger sword. He had pretty much all of the heroic actions available to him, including Resolve, Heroic March, Heroic Accuracy, Heroic Strike, Heroic Strength, Heroic Defense, and Heroic Challenge. So he had his pick of the litter, really, when it comes to heroic actions. In regards to war gear, he of course could buy the legendary Elven-made sword, Anduril, forged from the Shard of Narsil, which is an Elven-made hand-and-a-half sword, which then means he wounds pretty much anything on a 4+ if it were to win the fight. This also applies a bonus to if he used it as a two-handed weapon, and this came in at 40 points. He of course could have just a horse, so he could have mounted Aragorn for 10 points. He could have armor and a bow, as well as an elven cloak for 5 points apiece. The elven cloak just granted him the Stalk Unseen special rule, and in regard to special rules, he had Horse Lord, which means he can use his fate points to protect his horse if it happens to get shot out or killed from underneath him. And as I've mentioned already, he has his Mighty Hero special rule, which grants him 1 free point of might every turn. If it's not used that turn, it is lost, so it does not stack. So now let's compare our old Aragorn to our new Aragorn from the new edition. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. So he still comes in at a kingly and handsome 160 points base, so there has been no points fluctuation there. He is now considered a hero of legend more than he is a hero of valor across the army lists. He is, I think from my count, a hero of valor across 4 army lists and a legend across 5, so he is elevated more in regard to heroic tier. His stat line has changed a little bit. He still moves 6, but most importantly, and the most crucial thing to take away from this, he is now fight value 7. So he has been buffed up 1 fight value, so now he is even more difficult to beat in combat, and that's as it should be, because he is Aragorn. He's not exactly a pushover in combat. So yes, he is fight value 7 now, so he can get to fight value 10 quite easily with the new role for Heroic Strike, and can take on some of those big, nasty gribblies quite easily. He maintains his shoot value of 3, strength 4, defense value of 5 at base, 3 attacks, 3 wounds. He is courage 4, which is basically the same as it being courage 6 in the old edition. Intelligence 3+, he's a smart boy. And he still maintains his 3 points of might, will, and fate. He still has all of the previously listed heroic actions available to him, and just in case you've forgotten 2 minutes ago, they are Heroic Accuracy, Heroic Challenge, Heroic Defense, Heroic March, Heroic Resolve, Heroic Strength, and Heroic Strike. Instead of having a sword now, he just has a hand-and-a-half weapon, so that means he can't use the special strikes as they're all gone now, but he can use his standard sword two-handed. In regard to equipment that he can buy, there's been a couple of changes. He can still buy Anduril for 40 points, and the rules for Anduril stay the same as they were in the previous edition. He can still buy armor, a bow, and an elven cloak for 5 points apiece. The elven cloak still granting Stalk Unseen, with the additional penalty to enemies of conferring a -1 penalty to shoot when you're within 6 inches of the target. Now, one of the biggest shocks you're going to hear is that Aragorn can no longer just buy a horse. That's right, you can no longer have just mounted Aragorn for the cost of 10 points. The horse is off limits. Instead of that, you can spend 20 points and get Brago, the horse that you probably want to have if you're in a Middle-earth battle scenario, because that is one loyal and dedicated horse. Brago is a unique mount who comes with their own stat line of move 10, fight value 2 with a 6+, strength 3, defense 4, 1 wound, courage 6, and intelligence 6. He has no attacks either. He does come with his own special rule, and this is Sure-Footed Steed. So if Aragorn were to be knocked prone whilst riding Brago, and Brago is not slain as a result, Roll a d6. On a roll of a 6, Aragorn actually stays mounted on Brago, and might can be used to modify this if you want. So it's going to make it really hard now to kind of dismount Aragorn. In regards to special rules, there's been a couple of changes here as well. He still keeps his Mighty Hero rule, so he still gets his 3 point of might every turn. He also keeps his Horse Lord special rule, which means he can still use Fate to prevent wounds dealt to Brago, but also comes with the additional change of whenever Brago suffers a wound, on a roll of a natural 6, the wound is basically ignored. He also gains resistant to magic, which means now when he's targeted by a magic power, he gets an additional point of will or a 3 point of will to try and resist if he wants to use that. Again, this doesn't stack, but it's just a way of keeping him kind of a bit more free and clear of any magical powers and any wandering wizards that might be trying to get a one-up over him and cause him trouble on the tabletop. And finally, he has the Ring of Barahir, another unique piece of war gear, and I'm adding this into the special rules section rather than the war gear section, as it matches quite well with his previous rule. Now, the Ring of Barahir basically means after all magic resist tests, so any of your resistance to magic and any will points you want to spend to resist magic spells, roll a d6. On a 6, the power is nullified. So he's really now, where he was quite a priority target for all magic users who are trying to shut him down to minimise his combat effectiveness, that's now looking like it's going to prove a lot more challenging to do. What can I say? Aragorn Strider has had a clear buff from the previous edition through to the new edition, and I don't think it's without worry. He was always one of those pieces that people love to field, because everyone likes fielding the big tough hero, and Aragorn was one of those synonymous heroes in Lord of the Rings. You always saw him on the tabletop, and he was always, at least in my hands, a little bit lackluster. But yes, now I don't think that'll be a problem. I think he's going to see a lot more tabletop time, even more than the previous edition, and his most recent buffs are really going to see him leap to the kingly heights of where Aragorn should be. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Buffed or Nerfed. I will see you next time for another Fellowship member, and until then guys, take care, and as always, happy hobbying. Bye guys.